Okay, that's taking a bit extra time on the IC. I knew we would because it's important to see the IC first. So when we get up to the ascendant, our ascendant is the face, the image on our face of what we project out into the world based on where we're coming from and what we're trying to do. We're trying to do the midheaven, where we're coming from, the IC, our personal integrity. I'm holding together or I'm not. It's going to show on your face if you're happy or not. It's going to show on your face if you're insecure or not. It's going to show on your face if you're dishonest or not, if you're dealing with things or not. So when you have your integrity in place and it's working well, there's a simple humility that just radiates a calm. When it's less than that, which is most of the time, those marks show up on our face. They're witnessable. They're what we're projecting. We project that face out into the world. It's not what we're doing, it's how we're looking at meeting it. That personal attitude, that smile or not. So what seems to be the identity or your image in the moment, where you're coming from, where you're coming from meets what's out there. You know, I'm coming out of the house, I'm going out the door, I'm running into what's out there. If someone starts yelling at you in the first moment you get angry, the first moment you go out, it's kind of messed up the rest of the day. It affects everything. We're affected by everything. If you're not healthy, if you're unhappy, it's going to affect your ascendant way you project. If you're happy, if you're like the Viagra ad, if you're taking it and you're performing and you're happy, you go out the door dancing and happy. But your projection, I don't see it. It's kind of it's called your identity, the ascendant. The identity is how the subjective runs into the objective. And first of all, the first primal instincts of the ascendant, first things that really begin to show, they go into the 12th house and they're not really recognized out there, not to the same degree it means to you. And if it's not recognized as much, you're going to meet friends who don't relate it as much and you're going to accomplish less. So it's a real challenge. How do you project out? So your identity, your image, how you see yourself, what you're putting out, this is your ascendant. The ascendant's really accentuated in Western astrology. So anything hits the ascendant, it's going to show on your personality, on your image, on your face. So if you have the moon conjunct, square, opposed, stressful aspect to the ascendant, how you're feeling, whether you're hungry, whether you're not, where you're coming from, your mom, you're not, all the personal little family things are going to be on the focus of your identity and affecting what you put out in life. Anyone that meets you is going to run into the you that's putting out your feelings, good and bad, talking about your memories, good and bad. Other people have their own, they may not want to listen to yours. So that can hurt you. And you have an attitude from the ascendant, from the identity, it's the rising, it's how you're projecting out from your inner depth, how your integrity or lack of integrity is building up within you, and how it shows on your face and how you project that out into the world. This is the image I'm going to think, this is what I'm going to dress to go to work, this is what I'm going to put together, this is who I am, so that I can have the effect on others to accomplish things at the midheaven. So this identity is trying to tune in, it's picking up the wave and saying, if I'm going to go there, if I'm going to that party, I better be dressed well. Or negatively, why go to that party? I don't want to even dress up or whatever. Like it can be different attitudes. But the attitudes you're projecting, that ascendant, it's an image. It's not the depth, it's not the status, it's not the peak of a company, it's just your take on the balance sheet of your identity. And really you can't, if someone's looking at you clearly, you can't hide unhappiness, you can't hide a broken heart. You can try, you can put this type of face on, put that type of face on, that's the ascendant. So the moon there is going to make personal family things really affect what you look like. Your mom's going to dress you. You like it or you don't. You know, you're used to having a beer every day, so you can't be seen without a beer. Or just so many little habits. You're known for your hobbies, your habits, it's just the personal feeling and the memories and the reflection, everything before this moment. Your identity is empowering more than everything after this moment. And everything after this moment is conditioned by what's already happened. So if the moon's hitting it, there's family things, domestic things, mother things, nutrition things, habit things affecting their identity. And you have to weed out the bad habits, the bad food, the bad energy, and try and get it self-content. But it's a very personal thing to do it. And they have to work through that texture. If it's Mercury, it's your thinking about, if you're making sense of things, the way you think about things, as you're making sense out of things, it's going to affect your identity. I identify this, I can see that, I see this goes worse this way, this is going this way, I got to do this, I'm seeing this. So the identity gets really much more mercurial, for better or worse. If it's a stress, it doesn't mean worse. It just means there's going to be a struggle. You might talk too much. You might be thinking too much. You might be identifying to your thoughts too much, or maybe more than you're living up to your integrity. So there's always a puzzle with the mind, and this is affecting the identity. So to communicate, to express, to project ideas, it's going to have that effect. But if you're going to project ideas, how do you sift it out so you can project the good ones, not the bad ones? Usually you can project your worries, your things, and projecting these things. Okay. So Venus is your sense of beauty, your love, what you want, your choices. So you're going to identify to what you want. Maybe too much. So if Venus conjuncts, squares, or opposes the ascendant, it can cause vanity. It can cause overindulgence. It can cause, it be very charming. It's identified to whatever I want or whatever I don't want is going to be, I'm going to focus on very clearly. So then your choices, I made the choice, I got to go for this, I'm going for this. Like, boy, you can make a choice, you want something, you have to think about how to get it, then you got to try get it. And so this projection, it can be very vain, it can be very wasteful, it can be overindulgent, or it can be super charming and super giving. Depends on the relationship to Venus in the chart. If the Venus is working well, which means even if it's working well in the sign and the house it's in, it's still going to be stressing the ascendant, and there's a tendency to over-identify to it. And that will pull you this way and that way in terms of who you affect, who don't you affect, will have an effect on your image. You like me or don't like me, I'm liked, I'm not liked, I'm married, I'm not married, have money, I don't have money, have taste, I don't have taste. All of these factors. So Venus makes that issue. You almost have to observe to see how the person's making the issue. You know the issue's there. You don't know whether it's internalized, externalized, how it's working until you're meeting someone and trying to ask some questions, get to know it until it's confirmed. It's the nature of aspects. You can see it's there, but you can't predict, say it's just this. You ask a question first, you get it confirmed first, and then it gives you the handle on, okay. But even to solve a problem on the IC, usually you have to relate it to see how much you can go out, put it out, and how much other people respond to. You have to come back to the IC to change your motivation and how your integrity is to clear up that ascendant. Okay, so when you get out to the sun, your ego, your confidence, the sun on the ascendant puts the big ego on the identity, really identified to your confidence, for good or bad. It can be super arrogant. It can be super playful. It can be the big kid that's going to feel I have to lead. I'm the winner. I'm the sun. I know three great mystics that all considered themselves, I'm God. And they had their followers and believers based on the idea, well, I've gone through things, I'm God, everyone's God, everything's God, I'm God. And people would start following you around. But their identity, the sun was right on the ascendant. That's how they saw things. It's a little bit seemingly bragging for other people who don't have that to accept that. So The sun adds the arrogance, the playfulness, the confidence or the lack of confidence. It's not affecting the motivation. It's about your identity and how proud and how creative or playful you can be. Of course, pride can take you a lot of different ways. Confidence, lack of confidence, your identity is tied into your confidence. So the angle's there. The work is on your sun. The more you're making your sun work, even if it's an opposition, the more you're making it work properly, the more you're evolving it, the more you're evolving the ascendant and how it works with it. I mean, stress, we're working with all these stressful aspects. Everyone says, oh, this is what's positive, but you can't grow without stress. Stress squeezes good things out of you. It forces you to the next level. It forces you to wake up. It's the necessary essence for any kind of spiritual growth. Stress, and as long as we're alive in the body, there's going to be one. It's going to change from one form to another. It'll always be there, and you have to deal with it. And dealing with it, something in us grows. So we're looking at the ascendant. We're looking at the image, the identity of how you project. Whether you're sloppy, you're together, you're tired, you're not tired. It's the balance sheet of your personality, based on what you've been doing and where you're coming from. So if you're faking it, if you're succeeding, if you're trying to live up to all your commitments, your ascendant's moving really towards the ascendant. If you think, boy, I'm dragged at home, I can't get out there, and it's still a personal attitude that you're projecting, positive or negative. Okay, so when you get to the Mars is adding aggression, instability, anger, temperament to that ascendant. If Mars is hitting that ascendant, your projection, if it's hitting your ascendant, it's also hitting your descendant. So how you project and how other people see you. If Mars is on the angles or squaring them, conjunct, square, oppose your ascendant, you're going to have an abrasive personality. It's going to be edgy. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be forceful. It's going to be sensitive to force. It's not going to be patient. Things will be a little harsher or more pushy from you or to you. Your energy is going to be up or down, but it'll always be a little bit stressful. That's normal for you if you got it. Doesn't mean you're not supposed to be that way. You just have to then take extra effort to learn to not do bad things with your Mars so that bad things come back. It's a sort of subtle effect. If I project this out, then someone reacts, it affects someone this way. They respond, it comes back. Eventually it comes and affects my motive. Eventually it comes back to me, and you don't see that at the ascendant. You might see it at the descendant, but you don't see it at the ascendant, and it's how you're projecting. So when it's well, that's great. When it's not, boy, there's a whole way of rebuilding your whole chart, getting back to fixing your motivation and living up to maintaining your own inner integrity. Again, with Jupiter, it's going to exaggerate things. It's going to create understandings or misunderstandings. Your guidance system is going to be, your identity will be in a stressful relationship to your guidance system. So you could convince yourself, I'm this way, I should be this way. You can have multiple personalities, you can have different identities, you could be trying to do everything, you could be super jovial or too indulgent or having too much fun or wasting too much.